Kite and Sellsword Ashes. I don't know that I've ever used those. Okay, oops. Okay, am I out of places that I've marked? I am out of places that I've marked. Okay, we're at 20 bosses. This list has 40 bosses on it. So let's see what's next. Erdtree Avatar point 16. I did both avatars, I believe. Yeah, I did I did I get sidetracked and not do this avatar? I'll be right back. Oh, I got sidetracked and didn't do this avatar. Okay. Well, let's knock this out real quick. Hello, friend. Run in circles. Top off. Yep, I knew the timing was off on that top off. We're not going to heal. Surely we don't throw. Surely we don't throw. Okay. Cemetery Shade and Black Knife Assassin. Okay, I didn't do that catacomb. Where is that catacomb? Okay, believe it or not, we're actually almost done with everything that we can do in Liurnia. I was looking over the list again, and a lot of the bosses on the list are not boss fights. They're things like the Red Wolf, that is a boss fight at one point, and then it's just a common enemy on the map. Which I guess I was counting the Erdtree Avatar, or the Ulcerated Tree Spirit rather, but I feel like the Ulcerated Tree Spirit is a little different than, counting all the random Red Wolves. Especially because it's like the Ulcerated Tree Spirit, you get something out of that, right? Like there's something that signifies this is more than your average encounter. I don't know how to get to this dungeon. Not that way. So, I don't know. I don't think every single Red Wolf that you can run into counts as a boss. Because, like, kind of where do you draw the line, right? Like, Scaly Misbegotten is a boss fight. So do you consider every Scaly Misbegotten in the game to be a boss? Like, you got to draw the line somewhere. And I'm drawing the line at, like, I'm not counting every Red Wolf on the map as a boss fight. And then there's other things like I feel like counting Muriel is a boss, or Miriam, whichever one she is in the academy. That's like like you do get something special for beating her, but that's an NPC invasion. That's not a boss fight. Get out of the tree. So, yeah, some of these things on this list that they're just not bosses. they're tougher than average encounters, but they're not boss fights. Hi. Hello. Oh, oops, I didn't realize that I didn't have my sword out. Sword dance. I don't know what that does. So we're actually almost done with Liurnia at this point. Because, what do you call it? Caria Manor, or not Caria Manor, Viola Caria Academy has a couple of boss fights in it. And then several of the boss fights, right? Like they're also counting just like the roaming dragons as bosses, the roaming dragons that you get to just see walking around at the end of Ranni's questline, which again, that's a tougher than average encounter. That's not a boss fight. Oh yeah, I was gonna... Okay, let me go ahead. Do I want to waste runes? Okay, here's the thing. I'm almost done with Liurnia. I don't know that I want to waste runes leveling up Bloodhound. Because I'm about to pivot to the weapon that I want to use for a while. But on the other hand, it's good to have a weapon that doesn't scale with Holy. Yeah, okay. Let's go ahead. We'll +4 Bloodhound. I'm not gonna take Bloodhound beyond +4. At least I'm not planning to right now. So we'll +4 Bloodhound, just so we have a fallback weapon that's not wholly infused for the time being. Because my most game weapon, I'm not gonna, and see now he sells the Carrion Filigree Crest, which we're not gonna use. But the weapon that I'm gonna do for like most of the run is not till I get to Leyndell. So let's just go ahead and make Bloodhound a little bit better for the time being. And now we have a decent fallback weapon. And we'll go back to Road's End. And yeah, once we're done with Liurnia, then we can move on to Caelid. I mean, you just were eager to see me. So this, if it's the dungeon I'm thinking of, this is a trick dungeon. Which dungeon has 2 fights? Hold on. Okay, yeah, no. This isn't the dungeon I was thinking. Although the fact that the switch is right here makes me feel like it can't possibly be that simple. So, like, what's the catch? This feels like it has hidden walls. That was weird. that sting of strings was like a... Did I trigger a boss fight somehow? Yeah, this... I remember this dungeon being annoying to navigate. Apparently there's like a ton of hidden walls in Shadow of the Erd Tree, which I didn't really encounter. Okay, is this the only... Is this all? Is this dungeon that short? Which dungeon am I in? Road's End Catacombs? Okay, once I finish this fight, whatever it is this Cemetery Shade? Spirit Caller Snail. Oh, hey! Come on! Hold on. Hold on. Just wait a minute. Hold on. Okay. Now I'm ready. I was not expecting you to just hit me with a Crucible Knight out of nowhere. Ow. My timing is off. I'm not as good at parrying the Spear Crucible Knights as I am the Sword Knights. Oh man, yeah, I forgot this was a thing. That was fortunate because I dodged way too soon. Okay, then the snail appears usually around here. Where's the snail? Where's the snail? Okay, yeah, I was like, doesn't the snail show up over here? I think this is like one of 2 Spirit Caller snails that you encounter. Which, similar to Kale, not a Spirit Caller, but a Mimic tier. There was a tier that had like an entire quest line that was removed. Who are you spitting at, friend? That was stupid. Yeah, there was a Mimic that had an entire quest line that we think was probably the original intended way that you were supposed to get the... Oh god, my eye. Oh god, my eye. This is terrible time for that to happen. Oh god. Oh. Ow. Oh god. Oh, this is not ideal. Oh gosh. Okay. Whew. That was unfortunate timing. Ow. But yeah, there was a Mimic tier that had an entire quest line. And we think that's how you were supposed to get the Mimic tier Ashes originally. And the idea being that she was going to rule the land below and you were going to rule the land above, but you become aware that she's been masquerading as you. And she like gets really upset and comes at you and you have a fight with her. And that was the original mirror match setup, was her betraying you, feeling like you betrayed her, um, by stumbling on her scheme to masquerade as you in the Land of Night. But for whatever reason, they cut her entire quest line. And again, it's just like, that's so much more interesting than the Mimic Tier. Did I just spill water everywhere? Okay, good, that glass was empty. That's so much more interesting than the Mimic Tier just being in a room. So I don't know why. And just like with Kale's questline, my understanding is it was pretty much feature complete. Hi. Pardon me? That's actually a pretty great sword and shield, and if you were patient enough to just fight that dude over and over and over again, eventually he drops... I think he drops the whole set eventually, but I don't have that kind of patience. And also that set doesn't matter to what I'm doing right now. Which dungeon am I in? Black Knife kind of... Okay. So this is a little tricky. This is a great dungeon for this build, because you just have these skeleton dudes all over the place. But this is a little bit tricky, because there's actually 2 boss encounters here. I don't know what's in there. There's actually 2 boss encounters here. Something behind me? No, okay. So you have the regular boss encounter, but then you also have a Black Knife boss encounter here as well. I'm just going to deal with these archers real quick because they're obnoxious and they like to snipe you. I think this is the dungeon that, like, they just respawn forever. So what you want to do is go up here. Okay, you stayed dead. You want to go up here. Camera, please. And the intended route is not this. I just want to see if there's anything here. The intended route is to hang a right. We can go through there. Or to just not come up here at all. But through here is a hidden boss fight. Oh, wait. Who can I summon? Who is that? You can summon D for this fight? I never knew that. Okay, we're gonna summon D, because I had no idea. I did not know that was a thing. I didn't know there were any encounters you could summon him to fight alongside you. I don't know if that changes his dialogue. I've never done D's questline. 1,700 hours and I have never done D's questline. I mean, the Black Knife's not a particularly difficult boss, but just the fact that as I get, like, bodied by the only unblockable move that she has... just the fact that you can summon D for this encounter is just like, oh my gosh. Which I've also never used, like, the twin swords or D's set at all. Like, I think D's armor, God bless him, looks a little dorky. It's got a really beautiful lore significance. I just don't like it. Because the idea is that D and his brother are so connected that they're basically like one thought, one mind. And so their twinned armor signifies the bond that they have. And I don't believe that we ever learn why D's brother is in the vegetative state until he learns of D's passing as you go through the quest line. I'm not aware of any lore that explains that. But I wonder if it wouldn't be... I wonder if it wouldn't be neat to run the DLC cosplaying as D. So now we have that boss fight down. So that's one of the 2 fights for this. We're just gonna put our marker like next to it instead of on it. So that's 1 boss fight down. Now we're gonna go back and do the intended route to fight the actual boss of this dungeon. Yeah, so that drops you down. I'm sorry? That drops you down to the switch. And this is how you're supposed to beat the dungeon. Hi. Excuse me. I'm in the middle of something. Okay. There's a big boy crab somewhere around here. Hi. There's something else down here, but I don't think it matters to our build, so we're just gonna move it along. And now we go back to this room that we cleared out. But yeah, and I don't know if Fia and D had a thing going on, but D gifted Fia a dagger, which Fia then tells you to give back to D. She's like, I don't think I should have this. It would be better if you returned it to its owner. So you return the dagger to D, and then D's like... I don't know why my phone thought I was talking to it. You return the dagger to D, and D is like, oh, I know what to do with this. Don't even worry about it. So then D goes and tries to kill Fia, is the implication. But oh no, that's not what you want. Well, that's all bad. No. Can he top off? He can. He can. Excuse me. He does not need your help. I don't know if you can parry the Cemetery Shade. I'm not going to try, but... Yeah, the implication is that D goes and tries to kill Fia, but Fia takes him out, and Fia's like, I don't give a crap about the rules of Round Table Hold, and you tell them I don't give a crap about the rules of Round Table Hold, and tell them they best not be coming for me or they're going to get that smoke. Like, Fia declares war on the Round Table Hold, and on any of America's faithful, because of what she's had to go through and what those who live in death have had to go through, being hunted down and persecuted. And it's that aspect where, like, what D is doing, D has, like, good intentions, but he's a well-intentioned extremist, basically. And so, then when you go and meet Fia, there's some complicated debates around Fia's character and around specifically what Fia has or hasn't had to endure. I want to pump up Faith a bit more, I think. Because, for example, trigger warning, you have this idea of, as a deathbed maiden, Fia lays with people and she warms them in their passing. And depending on your interpretation of that, it either is or isn't what it sounds like. I think it doesn't have to be what it sounds like, because when Fia comforts you, she just holds you, and that's all there is to it. So I don't think it has to be what it sounds like, but the opening sequence to Elden Ring kind of implies that maybe in some circumstances it is what it sounds like. So then when you take into account the knight who declares himself to look at her as a certain connection, that then has very gross implications in that, like, whoever Fia embraces, she can summon to fight on her behalf. And so it's up to your interpretation how villainous you want to interpret one of the characters in the game. I would like to think it's not meant to be interpreted in the really terrible way that it could be. Certainly, it's a dark fantasy series and doesn't shy away from people being terrible, such as Celavis, but I think you don't have to interpret it that way necessarily. But I also think that the context clues make it fairly obvious that it probably is meant to be interpreted the way it sounds. Sophia is just very resilient in the face of all the things that she's endured. and she just wants her people to live in peace and not to be treated like monsters. And so then, and we're gonna do Thea's questline, so maybe I shouldn't explain the whole quest right now. But I've just always been curious about Thea's connection with D. Right, because like if it was more than friends, then why doesn't she ever summon a manifestation of D to fight you, you know? Oh. I mean, I knew I could interrupt that attack, I just didn't know that I could interrupt it like that easily. Or not that easily, but like I didn't know that you could prevent him from summoning his bolts, his meteors, when he's already in the stabby animation. Ow. Oh, I didn't get it off in time. Oh, I guess I did. Excuse me. So you guys probably already noticed this, but just some fun combat information if you didn't. So you saw right there how much damage I took when he hit me. If you get hit mid-attack, you take more damage than if you were like not in, like if you're stationary or whatever. If you're in the middle of an attack and you get struck, you take more damage than if you're just doing your thing. Okay, so that's another encounter down. Right, so I mean at this point, I think I need to consult my list, so I'll be right back, but I think I'm done with everything in Liurnia I can do. I've got to do the magma worm. Maybe I go knock that out real quick. There are like 3 NPCs you can summon for magma worm. One of them I can't do because of region lock, so Millicent you can summon to help you with that fight. You can also summon Blackguard to help you with that. So let's go ahead and just start doing Raya's questline. I don't think we're going to actually do Raya's quest in this playthrough. But it would be fun, I think, just to kind of show off, you know, some of the NPC summons for boss fight that, you know, not everybody knows that you can do. So I believe it's Istvan, Millicent, and Blackguard that can be summoned for this fight, depending on how you progress quest lines. And if we hadn't murked Patches, then he would show up along Volcano Manor's questline as well.
Hello.
Hi, Riot.
Hello.
You are one of the only people that the Tarnished interacts with whose life isn't made much worse for knowing me.
Oh, to bless us all, please.
Like, generally speaking, if you complete an NPC's questline in Elden Ring, it ends in their death. It's like Raya, Nefeli, and Rani are like, I think, the only people whose lives are better for knowing you. I'm trying to think if anyone else's quest line doesn't end in their death. In retrospect, I could have just teleported here. I think I did grab this side of grace. Yeah, okay, whatever.
What are you trying to start?
I love him.
That necklace what you're after, is it? Show me what it's worth to you, and I'll consider parting ways with it. I'm not in love with it or nothing. You're a shrewd one, Chief. First, you hand me the runes. And don't try nothing, neither.
So he's a criminal. We don't know what he's in for, but he broke out.
Alright. Take it. Thing's no damn use to anyone anyway. Your bloody idea, mate. Don't come crying to me later.
I just love his attitude.
Oh, piss off. What is it now? Oh, I see. You want some of me prawn? Freshly cooked it is. Alright then. It's yours. If you can meet me price. I could be persuaded to sell you some other bits too. If you've got the runes.
He is one of my favorite NPCs in the game.
Oh. So you met the girl, did you? Alright, well. sod the particulars of the matter, but it ain't my fault she's stupid enough to get duped, is it? Anyway, she ain't alright, that one. Lucky she ain't died on the bloody roadside, I reckon.
So then you buy a prawn from him.
You're tarnished too, ain't you? Can you see it then? The guidance of grace, I mean. I can't see it at all no more. Makes no bloody sense anyway. Why some no-name shithead like me should get called to the lands between. Cruel bloody joke, you ask me. Maybe something went tits up with it. Maybe it's been broke for a good long time. The tree, I'm saying. Never met someone with a taste for prawn I couldn't trust. We'd make good mates, I reckon. I'll be seeing you.
And now you're friends. The other way to do this is to just murk him on sight. And then you can, take Raya's necklace off him. But I don't know if you have to buy a certain amount of prawns from him first. I know you have to do his quest line before... You know what? I've never done his quest line, because it's part of doing Dung Eater's quest line, and Dung Eater is probably the only person in the lands between who's more loathsome than Celovus. You know what? I don't use boiled prawns. We're not gonna do this quest. Maybe some other time I'll do like a all quests run. But yeah, he was imprisoned, and when you meet Dung Eater, you'll get more lore from Blackguard, about just how terrifying he finds Dung Eater and just how despicable and horrific he is, and good God. But that's part of that quest line.
The thug should be resting at an abandoned home down the way. Please, I must have the necklace.
I skipped through the dialogue pretty quickly, but the necklace was a gift from her adoptive mother.
Thank you kindly.
And so it just has like a great deal of sentimental value for her. Lady Tanith of Volcano Manor is her adoptive mother, and it's implied that she's Rykard's daughter. It's implied that Rykard, or that Tannis' sister... So we know Tannis' sister is one of Rykard's lovers. At least it's strongly implied. And it's implied that she... Sorry, it's hard to do both at the same time. Okay, so Raya was adopted by Tanith, who is in deep devotion bordering on romantic love with Rykard. And Raya, we learn, is not as she seems, in so much as her appearance, and so much as her temperament. She's just one of the sweetest people you could ever want to meet. Truly, like, too good for this world. And so you become very close friends with Raya. You really are. You're really Raya's only friend. And as you progress, you learn more about her. But when you learn the truth of Raya's birth, it just breaks her heart. And Tanith kind of tried to spare her from the truth, because every child wants to believe that they were, formed in love. And then when you find out who Raya's mother is, like, Raya's mother is just one of the most disgusting, despicable human beings in the lands between. And it just breaks her heart when she learns the truth of where she came from. So you can either give her a potion to make her forget what she learned, which her adoptive mother, Tanith, is like, please, like, I tried to spare the girl from learning what her real mother was like and, what she was and everything. Please give her this potion. I know I shouldn't take the choice from her, but I just want to shield her from this heartbreak. So you can give her the tonic of forgetfulness, or you can basically tell Raya, like, hey, I don't care where you came from. Like, you're still my friend. I'm still your friend. Your past doesn't define you, and your parents don't define who you are. So she kind of goes out on this quest to go learn more about herself on her own terms, and she's grateful to you for staying by her side all that time. So, in terms of adoptive parents in the lands between, Raya definitely got off a lot easier than Nefeli did. Because while Tanith is also, like, kind of gross, like, Tanith is kind of gross in a fanatic devotion to Rykard way. And she's part of one of the opposing orders, right? You'll remember Rykard is the son of Radagon and Renala. And so they are part of one of the orders that are opposing Marika and her golden order, which is why Rykard eventually decides to become the god-devouring serpent, or be eaten by the god-devouring serpent, and invites you to devour the gods together.